Welcome to the CCL Halftime Show. I'm Kyle Fergusson, and today I get to sit down with BadBenny, previously of Onyx Esports. Same team, just goes by the name Diamond Hands now. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Yeah, Diamond Hands Benny in the house. We actually don't know what in-game tag we will use yet. Gottfilf was really like the hand idea, just hand Benny, but maybe it looks too ridiculous. We're not sure yet.
Okay.
But,
I mean, we would all assume just DH, but I like the hand idea. I'm kind of into
yeah,
that.
we kind of want to spice it up a little bit more, but we haven't decided on what yet, so we'll see. But hopefully for the weekend we're set when this is live. So
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you all on the slight restructure.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys have had quite the tournament so far, and this last week was really exciting with the reverse sweep. But we'll talk about all that in a moment. Let's go back in time for a moment and talk about you. You've been playing this game since basically its release, yeah?
Pretty much. I think I got into the game like half a year after it started, when some friends I played League of Legends at that time, I think, and they were like, "Oh, you should try this game instead. It's much more fun." And I did, and then then I got stuck there, and then I stayed until HCC ended, and then I had a break for the most part of the time since HCC until CCL started, actually, and that's kind of what brought me back. That I wanted, like, yeah, I saw a lot of old friends and colleagues, I guess, from HCC times, that they were like still playing, and they were writing about this new tournament coming up, and I was like, I want to be a part of that somehow. So, and that ended up with me coaching the first season and now playing the second season.
That's such a journey. I mean, you went from Fnatic, Method, to the CCL, many other teams in there as well. You've done the Masters Clash. Like, you've seen just about every form of Heroes tournament play that's ever existed.
Pretty much, yeah. It's been a long ride, for sure.
That's awesome. So, you were a coach. How was that experience in Season 1?
It was very interesting, actually. I had done some like individual coaching before, like during HCC. Not too many times, but a few times at least. So I thought it would be pretty similar, but it was a whole another beast, like doing a whole team and it being on the high level as well. So it had to do more with like how people behaved in games than more actual like strategy and like those things. More like how I think like each individual should approach the team. So it was very valuable experience, like both for me and hopefully for the players as well. Hopefully they got something out of it.
I bet. Coaching individuals through Storm League and whatnot is probably more about those individual plays, but a team morale, communications. How has that influenced you going into your new team now where you're a player?
Just coaching, and like it made me think way more about the communication aspect, how important it is, like to have a good infrastructure both outside and inside the game. So it's definitely been something I've like tried to keep in mind now, playing in like two different teams right now, so one in Europe and one in NA. So it has definitely helped out.
How was that decision made? Were you sitting on the sidelines coaching and like, oh man, I gotta play. I can't sit out another season.
Actually, that was pretty much how it went. So the reason I didn't sign up as a player the first season was that I didn't think I'd have enough time for it. But then I ended up being there for every scrim block anyway as a coach, and then I'm like, I might as well just play if I'm there anyway. And yeah. Here I am playing instead.
Well, I mean, now you're facing down a lot of your old coach mates, your old teammates on enemy sides.
Actually, I mean, this weekend, Granite Gaming was the team I coached, and they still have 3 of the same players that I coached, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, are you getting in their heads a little bit, or has the meta moved so much that old information isn't quite as valuable?
Don't think it matters too much, but it's gonna be exciting to play them. Like, so one of the players are playing in one of the top European teams, Skoog, for Granite Gaming. He's playing for the Donuts in the European Master Clash tournament, which is like one of the top 3 teams along alongside my team and 30K's European team. So that's gonna be interesting to see, because now he's playing the tank role, which I haven't really played against him that much outside of Storm League. So it's gonna be interesting to see like playing against it instead of like watching him play from when I was a coach. So.
Well, then they'll be in your head too. I mean, they know things about you as well. It's gonna be a really cool matchup.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Let's talk about this last weekend a little bit, because you guys had that big reverse sweep versus Wild Heart. Things were, it was on the ropes. Like, and particularly game 2 was like a real nail biter. You guys were having at it past the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, it was actually, I think game 1, the Dragon Share game, we played pretty well, but we made some mistakes, and maybe we were a bit lost late game, or maybe it was a bit that the draft was pretty hard to like win with late game. We still haven't really figured it out, but I think we played pretty good game 1, but game 2 was kind of a disaster. It felt like draft wise and play wise. And then the Shogal came in game 3, and well, I mean, going into it, I think everyone was still like okay morale-wise and mental-wise, but it's still rough being down 0-2, and it's versus Wild Hearts. You never know what they're gonna do, right? And if they do something weird, they probably have a plan with it. So it's but it's kind of good, because one more thing, if you play against like another team that usually plays like normal things, and then they play something weird like a Shogal, then you're like, they're trolling. But if it's Wild Heart, like out of all teams, then like, oh fuck, they have a plan with it.
It was a crowd favorite. They got really excited about it, but you guys did bring that win out in rather decisive fashion. I mean, you guys were, if the game went on, it was going to be 6 bell towers firing on the enemy side, complete control of the map.
Yeah, we went with the global, like, Gottfried calls it ratting. Basically, like, place around the top lane, constant pressure there, look for the pickoffs with Sonya Leap and Falstad as well. And we executed it pretty well. Some mistakes. I think I died to the Shogal once, got exploded, and a few, like, some more miscommunication mistakes that set us a little bit behind. But overall, I think we played that game pretty well.
Now, looking at the sort of drafts up to that point, that Towers of Doom was a really big changeover for you all. I mean, just about everybody switched heroes there, and you've had kind of like a Taunt Varian, an Uberak, a sprinkle of Cho'Gall Diablo, but you jumped right on Mei for 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, since I played in HCC, like, there's no tank I can't play, but there's some that are more favored to pick in the meta, and the Varian, I think, is very strong versus a lot of things. Like, it shuts down a lot of melee heroes, like the mobile ones. It's very good versus those heroes, and it's also pretty decent into double support, so you can kind of pick it relatively early, and you can't really get countered by doing so. We actually saw in the first game that Wild Heart stole the Varian from me on the Dragon Shire game, which they actually had a very good plan going into that draft, and I mean, we did play it fine, but they won it in the end, so their plan won.
You got a great memory for all these games. Oh my goodness, and you're still analyzing them. I'm really excited to see what you guys cook up with this weekend. The last game you went with an Arthas. What was the kind of choice there?
Actually, it's quite interesting. As soon as I saw they picked Battlefield of Eternity, I said to the team, like, okay, I'm playing Arthas, you're playing Kira Fans. Like, before the draft even started.
Really?
I said, we're gonna pick these heroes. Because I was so sure that the Wild Heart would go into that kind of draft. And then, I mean, I didn't expect Artanis, but the rest of the picks were, like, kinda what I expected when they picked the map. And the way, like, we banned heroes kinda pushed them into that route a bit. So, like, we wanted them to pick those heroes, and then we had a good plan for it with the Arthas Kira, and it paid off.
It certainly looked like you guys wanted them to take the Medivh so you could basically sit on top of his portals, both front and back.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was. I watched some of the clips. I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched some of the clips of it, and I think Fans did super well. Like he got so many kills and hit pretty much all his spells on them all the time. Like that's the hard part with Kira. Like if you miss one ability, then you're kind of useless for 15 seconds. So it's super important that he hit those, which he did, and it ended up with us winning the game. It was pretty big.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on that win. Looking forward to your game
Thank you.
happening next. Everyone stay tuned. But
Yeah.
we got a minute or two left. Just a hot take for you. How's Johanna looking with the rework that happened?
Actually, I streamed some today, played some Johanna Stitches and some Asmonon actually. Johanna, I think she's, I think she looks pretty good. I think she's better. I go with the double blind on 1 and the blind on 16. And I think with Falling Sword on 10 and the upgrade on 20, she's insanely strong with or against dive comps. Because if your team dives in, and then you give everyone unstoppable and heals them on 20. Or if the enemy team dives on you, you do the same. Like you give unstoppable and heal them at 20. And I think she looks pretty good. Some people are saying she can't main tank anymore, but I don't understand what they're talking about. So
I love the Divine Steed business. It's a really fun new bit of tools
yeah,
to play
yeah.
with.
I tried it a little bit. I do think the W on level 7 is still the best though, but I really want the Divine Shield to be good. I think if it gave you unstoppable during the duration as well, it would be for sure good. But what can happen is like you click it and then they throw a slow or a stun on you and then you don't do anything anyway. And that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, I learned
I've
my
seen.
lesson with Stitches last night, trying to right away. Well, thank you for joining me for this interview. Any shout outs you'd like to do here at the end?
Just shout out to Chris, former Onyx, now Diamond Hands, and all of my teammates, and that includes the staff working behind the scenes as well, Key, Collusion, and all those other people. And soon I think it's after this weekend, we can pick up our 6th member. Not gonna spoil yet, but I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing y'all's plans.
Me too.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Back to y'all at the desk. Good luck in your game.
Thank
See
you.
you soon.
Yeah, bye.